The hashtag is Amka Kenya, where you get a headset. I'm Alan Owino.
And I'm Remy Majala.
Yes, siku zote 24/7 they call me Tony Mwirigi aka the celebrities host. Ni asubuhi ya kipekee mtazamaji, manake tupo hapa kwa ajili ya habari za kuaminika, habari za michezo, burudani and so many others this morning from 6 to 10. 4 hours of amazing conversation, and today it is a special day because the world is celebrating the World Lizard Day. Ladies fear lizard. I know.
Yes, we do.
Yes, especially you.
Or
ladies.
I
You
do.
do fear lizard.
Maybe not every lady.
Every lady. My
But
lady
asilimia
fears.
kubwa sana ya
She does,
wasichana
yeah.
wanaopanga wale ile. Now I want to hear from everyone.
Yes.
From Lowland, how do you call lizard in Lowland?
Lizard is called. A lizard is called what in Luo? A lizard is called.
You don't know. Wow.
No, it's skipping my mind. I know it.
You know it.
It's skipping my mind.
Okay,
yeah.
in Taitaland, how do we call a lizard? You don't know.
No.
In Maryland, I don't know. Where are we as a nation? Where are we as a nation? Yeah?
No, I actually know mine. It's just skipping me. I know how
Yeah.
it's called. Yeah.
Well, okay, mkopo lakini?
Tuko
Kabisa.
salama.
Mambo shwari?
Yes.
Yes.
Kabisa. Now leo ningependa tuanze show na a quote. A quote ambayo itatuanzisha siku kwa njia nzuri.
Yes.
Na ningependa kila mtu achukue kalamu na karatasi uandike chini.
Okay.
You got this. Tell yourself, Remy, I got this.
I got this.
Alan, I got this.
I got this.
You have overcome challenges before, and you will overcome these too. Your strength and talent are still there.
Amen to
Amen to that.
Amen.
Those are words by Charles Darwin.
that. Okay.
Amazing.
Yes, amazing.
Very good quote right there.
Great
And of
way to
course,
start the
as-
morning.
A very beautiful morning to start this amazing show with full of energy.
Yes.
As we talk about different stories from the world of politics, social conversation, entertainment, business, and sports.
Amen. Speaking
Yeah.
of politics, right here on Amka Kenya this morning, I'll be seated with former Kiambu Governor Dr. James Nyoro to assess the state of the nation, to assess the state of devolution, the hits and the misses. It's been well about 13 years since devolution took effect. That's what we'll be discussing this morning.
Wow, of course, and looking at Amka Vibe Check, today we want to make sure that you begin your morning on a very high note. So we will be dancing and having an amazing time. Now, we have this particular dance group that's called Pato Fitness Group. They'll be coming here showing us the steps and the moves to just make you feel right on this amazing Thursday. So make sure that you stay tuned from 8 to 9 a.m. and get on your dancing shoes and let's move.
Yes, mtazamaji, apart from the dancing shoes za Remy, this morning tunaongelea all the conversation regarding matters forex. Now, you have been asking yourself, what is forex? Now, kuna skit ambayo comedian Flaco ameitoa juzi the other day akiweza kusema the real meaning of forex trading. Now, wafanyabiashara wengi hasa vijana, kina Kenyan Prince, Sammy Boy, wamejam tu sana because wanasema ni kinda Flaco anaingilia biashara yao. We have seen yesterday a video of Butita akisema hapana, Flaco hakutaja mtu yoyote, but mbona maboyo forex wamejam. So today we shall be breaking it down from 9 to 10 just to highlight and to get to know from you what exactly do you understand when you hear someone is in the forex business. All this from 9 to 10 on Amka Trend Talks, mimi na gangi yangu. Je, kwako, what comes in your mind when you hear the word forex trading? Tell me, then later on I will be sampling your feedback on Amka Trend Talks.
Well, without said, remember the hashtag is Amka Kenya, where you get a headset. Let's get on to a developing story this morning on Amka Alert. Now, the High Court has dismissed former nominated Senator Gloria Oroba's petition against the United Democratic Alliance UDA party's disciplinary proceedings, delivering a significant setback to her case. Justice Lawrence Mugambi ruled that Oroba's application violated the doctrine of exhaustion and amounted to an abuse of the court process, ordering her to pay costs to the judge. The judge clarified that the conservatory order granted on the 15th of May only halted proceedings mentioned in the May 7th letter and found no proof that UDA's disciplinary committee had breached those specific terms.
Now, on jurisdiction, the court determined that Oroba should have first sought redress through the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal and as stipulated under the Section 39 of the Political Parties Act. Now, before approaching the High Court, that is.
Yes, mtazamaji, before niweze kusoma some tweets our Kenya in regards to this story ya Oroba, they are saying kwamba in her petition, Oroba argued that the party's process was improper because there was no laid down disciplinary rules to guide it, containing that her rights to a fair trial and fair administrative action had been violated. That is according to Oroba in her case. And now we have some comments from Kenya. We have here a comment from Weish Andrew, who says, what is she fighting for? She should move on already. She said she doesn't need a salary. That's a comment from Andrew in regards to the ongoing case Yoruba. We have a comment here from Maina Martin Kariuki, who says it's a game over for the senator. Sometimes you have to know which side of your bread is buttered. By the way, is Matiang'i still running for presidency or he ran away? All right, that's a comment in regards to the case Yoruba from Maina. We have the last comment here from Benson Omwoma, who said she was nominated and later on sacked. Accept and move on. Use the little money you have in you use the little money you have in doing other things. Maneno ya kesi achana nayo, mdomo chako ndio ili kuharibia. That's a comment. And the last comment from Benson Omwoma. We shall be also sampling other comments this morning from the ongoing case yake Oroba with the party yake ya UDA, and among other stories from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms.
Well, we for sure know that we're expecting some response from Gloria Oroba in the course of the day, or probably tomorrow. We'll for sure keep you updated on the same. There's still other things that you need to know this morning, and Kenya is facing yet another penalty from the Confederation of African Football, CAF, for breaches of crowd safety and security during the ongoing African Nations Championship, which it is co-hosting with Tanzania and Uganda for the first time. Despite the historic nature of the tournament, it has been overshadowed by delays in stadium readiness and chaotic scenes at matches, particularly at Nairobi's Kasarani Stadium, where ticketless fans have forced their way in incidents widely shared and condemned on social media.
Now, CAF had already fined Kenya $17,500 earlier in the week and restricted attendance for the upcoming match against Zambia, citing multiple breaches of safety, that is, and security. The disciplinary committee has now imposed a further $50,000 fine and warned that unless Kenya improves crowd control and implements stricter security measures, future matches could be relocated to other venues. The warning comes against a backdrop of Africa's tragic history of stadium disasters, including last year's deadly stampede in Guinea that claimed 140 lives.
Well, we have a couple of comments in regards to this story. Lakini msamaji, in case you're asking yourself what has happened in this whole story, we saw a case whereby they are saying in the statement ya kwamba kuna ile kesi ya pikipiki zilikuwa ndani ya uwanja, kulikuwa na kuingilia kupitia gate ambayo haikuwa inaruhusiwa. Lakini pia we have comments here from Kenyans who are saying Kasarani has always been a nightmare. Nyayo is a bore. Kenya football needs a framework for fan engagement and involvement. You can't open two gates at a venue. Bring anti-riot cops for sports and crowd control. That's a comment from Erastus Ndamas on Twitter. And here we have a comment from Eugene Njumu, who says something is going on here. It will come out soon. Details in those fines. Those are just comments ambazo Wakenya wanatoa baada ya FKF kuwa fined that is 6.45 million, and has also warned Harambee Stars matches could also move to alternative venue if Kenya doesn't meet with CAF safety and security measures. Mtazamaji, kumbuka, if Kenyans won't adhere to these rules, Kenya might lose ama haitakuwa nafasi ya kuweza kuhost even CHAN in coming years, 2027 and other years. So the only thing we're urging Kenyans, it is make sure we follow the rules ambazo zinatakikana by CAF safety measures to ensure kwamba kuna safety in watching our matches here at home. Lakini pia, if Kenyans won't follow the right procedures, Kenya might lose the chances to host, to host the home matches. Now they might be shifted to Uganda and Tanzania.
Right.
So we have to adhere to these rules for Kenya to be in a safe, in the safe place.
Most definitely.
Kabisa.
For sure. We saw the FKF president issue a press statement yesterday just telling Kenyans, let's protect the game. It's taken us a long time to get here. And of course, I'm sure Kenyans are very obedient people. They've listened to that. Let's move on to other updates where the 2025 Devolution Conference, that is Kenya's Premier Governance Forum, is underway in Homa Bay County, hosted at Homa Bay High School with supplementary events at Raila Odinga Stadium and the Tom Mboya University. Now, it is structured around 3 thematic days. That is good governance, that was held on the 13th of August, emphasizing on transparency and accountability. We have human rights and social media justice, which is to be held today, and financing equity and inclusion to be held on Friday, that is the 15th of August, that is exploring fair resource allocation and financial access for MSMEs and underserved communities. We also expect the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to give the closing keynote later on today.
Right. Another thing that you need to know this morning is Kenya's plan to...
Before we even continue, allow me just read this comment from Ambassador Sebastian Growth from whatever he said yesterday on the opening of the Devolution Conference that is ongoing in Homa Bay. Ambassador Sebastian Growth said, devolution is not an event. It is a continuous process. It is about strengthening institutions that deliver and that respond to citizen needs, and about upholding a genuine partnership between government and the people. Something about yesterday, I noted it down from Ambassador Sebastian Growth yesterday during the launch of the conference, Devolution Conference Week, and this is the 13th, right?
I want to believe so.
Yeah.
No, it's been 13 years. Yeah, it's been, well, give or take around 13 years since devolution took effect. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Remy?
Right, let's take a look at the next thing that you need to know this morning. Now, Kenya's plan to partially privatize the Kenya Pipeline Company continues to spark debate ahead of further deliberations today, that is. Now, the cabinet has approved selling a stake through an IPO in September to boost efficiency and attract private investment and grow capital markets. That is, while Trade CS Lee Kinyanjui has defended the move, citing global privatization successes, Energy CS Opio and I has assured Parliament that the process will not affect fuel prices there due to continued regulation by IPRA. Stakeholders are pushing for transparency and safeguards to protect national interests as the process advances.
Moving on to other updates, I'm not sure if there is something else to be assessed on the social media platforms.
On the side of Kenya Pipeline?
Yeah.
All right, I have a comment here from Kabando who says, it is a critical national entity. The Kenya Pipeline Corporation may be stolen via a Nigerian route. Stories about it being privatized to optimize commercial benefits to Kenya is looters' propaganda. It is being grabbed, Adani type, as JKA, KPC, is still number for big boys. That's a comment in regards to privatization of Kenya Pipeline, a comment from Kabando, who says all this agenda, it is looters' propaganda from the big boys. That's a comment from Kabando.
Of course, that whole process has elicited mixed reactions with different stakeholders raising different concerns, and that's the very essence of why these stakeholder engagements are being carried out, to see to it that you raise your concerns and they could very well be looked into moving forward. Elsewhere, the Departmental Committee on Lands is scheduled to meet later on today. The session's agenda will focus on discussions with the Kenya Railways Corporation regarding land and its ownership, as well as parcels it has leased out. The meeting aims to gather detailed information and address matters related to the management, use and leasing arrangements of KRC's land portfolio, which has significant implications for public asset oversight, land use planning and potential revenue streams.
Right. Another thing that you need to know this morning is the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure will hold today a meeting to engage with the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport, Davis Chirchir. Now, the primary purpose of the session is to receive the CS's official submissions on the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill 2025, that is the National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025. This bill proposes amendments to existing road sector legislation, potentially affecting the management, regulation, and development of Kenya's road infrastructure. Now, the meeting will provide an opportunity for the committee to scrutinize the CS's views, clarify policy intentions, and access the potential legal and economic impacts of the proposed amendments before further legislative action.
Now, I think we're done with the 5 things.
Right.
All right. So, mtazamaji, now let's pose the question of the day this morning. Yesterday we have seen ya kwamba CAF imeweza kuimpose FKF 6 million for breaching some of the measures ambazo walikuwa wameweka pale mwanzoni, and that's why we're asking this morning, mtazamaji, kupitia michuano ambayo inaendelea hapa nchini Kenya, michuano ya CHAN, na tunakuuliza polepole utuambie mtazamaji asubuhi ya leo, tupatie maoni yako kupitia hashtag ambayo ni Amka Kenya kila mahali katika mitandao ya kijamii. Utuambie, do you think FKF's plan to create fan zone for ticketless fans to watch matches will help manage crowd trouble? If not, what alternative would you suggest? Mtazamaji, tunakuuliza asubuhi ya leo, utuambie kupitia hashtag ambayo ni Amka Kenya. Pia utupigie simu live. Pia kuna WhatsApp namba ambayo iko hapo chini 0757725083. Utuambie, do you think FKF's that is Federation of Football here in Kenya plan to create fan zone for ticketless fans to watch matches will help manage crowd trouble? If not, what alternative would you suggest? Mtazamaji, tumeona shughuli ambazo zimekuwa zikiendelea katika michuano ya Kenya na DRC Congo. Tumeona michuano ya Kenya na Morocco, jinsi wa Kenya waliweza kuingia kwa idadi kubwa sana kupitia hata geti ambazo zimeandikwa exit, ndio waliingilia nazo katika mechi ambayo Kenya ilikuwa inachuana na Morocco Jumapili iliyopita. Utuambie, kumekuwa na mambo mengi ambayo yamekuwa yakiendelea, na siku ya jana tumeona CAF imeweza kusema kwamba imeweza kuipiga Kenya faini ya shilingi milioni 6. Tuone maoni yao kasubia leo, na hapa tupo na maoni ya Real Chopsticks. Anasema kwamba nothing to suggest kama they buy all tickets eti ndio kusikue na crowd. What's that? Alafu wanasema wata create fan zone so that they brainwash us. We are in another country for now. That's a comment from Real Chopstick. Let's take a look at this comment from Voko Mugo, who says, no, let the Kenyan matches be played in Uganda and Uganda matches be played in Kenya. Well, that's a comment from Voko. Now, mzamaji, when you talk about official fan zone, the government is trying to place Uhuru Park, Lakisama, Dandora Stadium, Utalii, Jacaranda Grounds, and Kibera DC Grounds to be official fan zone. Do you think that's a good measure? Tuambie, alafu baadaye we shall be sampling your feedback.
Well, thank you for that. It's time for us to have a look at our press review this morning. Have a look at what is making headlines across the dailies right here on Amka Kenya. We are joined this morning by Advice Mundalo, who's a youth leader, just to help us delve deeper into these issues, to understand them and make a sense of them. Let's now have a look at our daily right here. That is the People Daily. Remember, you can grab a soft copy of the same on the People Daily app that can be gotten on Play Store, or you could log on to the website pd.co.ke and have a look at what is making headlines. On the front page of the People Daily right there, what does it say? It says, should be having it on the screens right now, People Daily. Trump, red cards, Ruto over Gen Z killings. That is on the front page of the People Daily. In what could widen diplomatic rift with the U.S., a report reveals that the Kenyan government committed arbitrary or unlawful killings, particularly during the Gen Z demonstrations. This is a story on page 4. We'll be discussing it in detail further. Let's look at devolution at 12. Kenya's unfulfilled promise. We're just coming to the tail end of the devolution conference that has been held in Homa Bay, which of course will be coming to an end tomorrow, with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga expected to give his keynote speech later on today. Let's just basically look at that front page as well. Just at the very top, we have the 424 million sport pesa winner to tackle water shortage and all that you need to know about CHAN. So we're looking at CHAN right here, devolution conference, and of course the Trump red cards on Ruto over Gen Z killings. I'd love to begin with that Trump red cards Ruto over Gen Z killings. And as we're discussing this, just take the page to page 4 of the People there, where we have that main story. Advice, when you're looking at this issue, the Foreign Affairs Minister, who's the PSC, has over time reiterated or reassured Kenyans that there's nothing like that. But now we're seeing a report that has been released by the US stating very clearly that they've called out Kenya for these human rights violations. And it says in a damning report, the US Department of State categorized the year as marked by unlawful killings, disappearance, torture, arbitrary arrest, or detentions. So you're having on one end the PSC saying that, you know what, things are okay. But on this end, we're looking at a report that could very well dampen these ties. So who's lying in which case, and what are we looking at here?
Okay. Thank you very much, and good morning.
Just as we're looking at that, of course, Remy, before we throw it to advice right there on this issue, yes, we saw the PSC say that, you know what, things are okay. There's no need to worry. So when you're looking at a report coming out, I don't know if things are really okay, as we've been told.
No, they clearly cannot be okay, because these are very conflicting things coming from the Senate, you know, in the U.S. And then we have, the CS saying that we do not have a problem, despite, actual reports that we've seen on human rights records of different violations, left, right, and center. You know, so this is definitely something that we need it to be further analyzed, because advice, like Alan was mentioning, the CS is saying something different from what the U.S. Senate is saying, from what we have seen on the ground. What are we supposed to make of this?
Thank you, and good morning to you, and good morning to the viewers of K24. It's my pleasure to be here this morning. Now, just looking at what what you've just rightfully read on the People Daily, and the report by the U.S. and what is the conversation that is now happening in the U.S. Senate. Whereas there are several realities that we know on the ground that definitely during the Gen Z uprising, both last year and this year, and several other demonstrations, we have actually been able to have many killings per se. I think now moving to almost 100. And we've actually been even, that's why we even have cases of the Inspector General, the Deputy Inspector General answering a case with the IPOA. Several policemen have been able to be held to account who are facing court charges, and several other of that nature. But then there is always a thin line between the prefecting of the American state over African countries and the sovereignty of African countries. Because sometimes it also looks as though the United States places itself above the rest of the other countries, and therefore is more like a prefect of the rest of us. And yet we enjoy sovereignty as a country. We are actually an independent state per se. So there is always a thin line there, because sometimes it takes Kenyans back to the mentality of way before we got independence. It's like there is someone who should be able to be like looking at us and being able to guide us in what we are supposed to do. And that's why even up to today, when we see reports such as that from the US, there is more or less a chilling spirit in Kenya. It is more or less quite a big, you can see it's actually a main headline on one of our papers. But be that as it may, I really want to think that the troubles of the country and the troubles of Kenya and any other African countries should be left still to the African countries to handle. We should not be able to push this mentality whereby we keep thinking that our troubles get lesser and better when they are handled by foreign nations, because I think that takes us back to times when we were not an independent country. And I think that's the same thing I saw our former deputy president purporting to report Kenya to the US like you are reporting to a parent. I think that's a mentality that takes us backwards than it takes us forward. I agree with issues where these countries' issues are solved internally. Like we must be able to push our institutions to work. We must be able to ensure that the IPOA is able to work. We must be able to ensure that the policemen who've been charged are actually brought to book. Like we should be able to handle our issues and handle them effectively and enhance the trust of Kenyans, so much so that it doesn't look like our reprieve will always come from the West.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we just want to take a short break right here on Amka Kenya. When we get back, we continue with the conversation on the press review. Just stick around.